Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Whissel Way podcast. Kyle Whistle's out. He's speaking all over the United States lately, man. He's been like a jet flyer. I thought I've been in a lot of planes. I've probably been in at least 15 planes over the last 4 months, and for multiple different reasons, but he's probably been in 40 in the same amount of time. And as I mentioned on our radio show, you know, this is Jason Hall, by the way, with Team Home Loans. I've done a radio show with Kyle for the past 5 years. I've known Kyle since he was 19, didn't have a real estate license, and he was interning with his dad as he was going to school here at UCSD, right down the street from our studios. And he got his marketing degree there. And he and I just kind of grew a friendship. And, you know, his dad said, if you're going to get into real estate, you need to have a great lender or a couple of them. And, you know, he and I just kind of hit it off. And I've kind of seen him build, you know, Whissel Realty. And the podcast says it all. It's the Whissel Way. And he's very open about sharing and how to help people get better. And he even texted me, what did he say? It's not what you can, well, I'll try to find this quote he gave me this week. It was kind of neat. But it's just neat to have good friends like that. And he keeps, you know, helping me improve and learn things that I'm human, right? I still make mistakes, and I don't see some of the, some of the hard edges that, say, my wife sees of nearly 30 years that Kyle sees. And it's nice that I can have those people say, hey, you know, have you thought about it this way? Have you thought about doing this? And that truly is the Whissel Way. So he's very open. He's very upfront with everybody. And that's the reason he does this podcast, is to share with other people in the real estate field, whether you're a lender, title, an agent, a broker, or you're even thinking about becoming an agent or lender, broker, title, anything. He really wants you to learn and be there, and he's available. So you can always reach him on his text line. No joke, Kyle does I think he was telling me it's like 18,000 texts a month. I mean, it's some crazy number.
I believe it.
You know, I mean, it's insane. He literally hires drivers just so he can text. He can't even have conversations because he's texting so much. But he's gotten a really good. I mean, he makes a very good text, clearly gets through. You know, when you do so many texts for so many years, you just get really good at it, you know. And when you break that down, it's like, I don't know, it's 600 texts a day, you know, something like that. Pretty amazing. But in studio with me is one of the agents who recently joined the Whissel team, and that is Clayton Connally. Mm-hmm. And Clayton came over in January to the Whissel team in EXP. And we were just talking about on the radio show, kind of your experience, but you also brought in a good friend of yours, Jared Angaza, a little bit better pronunciation that time.
Perfect.
And Jared's helping you truly find out what makes you unique, who's you, so that we can truly identify Clayton and get that out to the marketplace and truly brand you and market you, because you are a unique individual, and it's how you get that out. Because as I mentioned on the radio show, Kyle's not the best agent. He's just the best marketing agent. And if that's the one thing you take away from this show today, become a great marketing agent, hire a great team around you, hire a great brander, somebody like Jared, to help find out what makes you unique, what makes you tick, so that he can help you promote that out into the marketplace.
For sure.
So let's talk about that, Clayton.
Well, we began our branding conversation, Jared and I, about 6 months ago. And I've always been keenly aware that branding is super important. The way you present is everything. And I never realized how noble a craft real estate really is, because I always got caught up in the weeds of poor real estate branding. I mean, we've all seen it. We've all seen the agent that, you know, she looks amazing on the billboard, and then you meet in person, you're like, oh, that was your picture from 20 years ago.
Yeah, like 20, 30 years ago.
Right. And people still do that. And everybody has that. Or some guy that just wanted to save a couple bucks, and so he just got like the cheapest business card with his name and a weirdly cropped picture of himself on it. And so that's what's going. I mean, I've seen the ghost realtor. She's out there. This guy with his last name is Lamb with his face on the front of a sheep, and that's like his branding. So I spent half my time making fun of realtors, and I didn't want to be that person. But I found myself, you know, branding my own self, which isn't probably a good idea. And so I thought, in order to really do the best, I need to hire professional help. And professional help wasn't me looking through Yelp and finding somebody. I serendipitously met Jared on a number of occasions because we both had done work in Africa. He actually branded much of Africa. I could say that's an overstatement, but nonetheless, he's an international branding architect. And so we sat down and said, hey, what can you do with me as an agent to really capture what it is I'm trying to be so I can show up fully as myself and not fit in someone else's box, because I'm not good at that.
So how's that going, Jared? How's that going working with Clayton?
It's been amazing. I mean, and for me, as an activist and working with, governments and USAID and Oxfam, and now I'm working with a real estate guy in Ocean Beach. So there's a big jump there on the outside.
Right.
But for me, it was very congruent because I saw I saw all the stuff that Clayton was doing with the community, with it being authentic. He wanted to bring that authenticity out and couldn't figure out how to do it. We did that, I think. And I saw what was going on in Ocean Beach, because that's where I live as well. And I saw what his commitment to the community,
I know
to the
he loves
vitality
OB.
of that community.
I know it's a big passion of his.
Yeah. And his work goes well beyond Ocean Beach, but I saw what was going on there and the things that he was investing into the community. And I thought that taps right back into my understanding of how we do business in America affects all these other places around the world that I've been working in. And that's important to me. And I want to be part of that. And I see what he's able to do now because of how we clarified his identity and we clarified his value. I saw all this value there, and I said, we've got to get that out there because the world needs you. And so that was our dance.
I like it. And you have other clients outside of just Clayton, right?
Yes.
So let's talk about you. We talked about it on the radio show, but I want to make sure we get it clear on the podcast here, the Whissel Way podcast. You run your own podcast. It's Noetic, Noetic. You can look that up. We've got a lot of shows you've done for that for quite a while, and learn more about you. And if somebody's interested, because we have a lot of real estate people listening right now going, wonder if I should do this. What's the best way to contact you, Jared, if I'm thinking about, hiring a true professional?
Thank you. My website, jaredangaza.com, JareDangaza.com. That's the best place to find me, and I hope I've done a good job of articulating the essence of my brand and identity there as well, so that you can understand how I do what I do.
The branding process with Jared was amazing because, it's like when you go and to sculpt the David, right? The historic David statue, right? You start with this big block, and you whittle down and you whittle down and you whittle down. And before you know it, an image appears. And all of it's been there the whole time. And Jared has the ability to draw it out. And so
say that again one more time.
Okay. It's as if
it's a rock, right?
It's a rock. And who is that? Who did the David?
Michelangelo.
So Michelangelo said, I saw it in there, and and I
so he saw it in there.
Yeah. All he had to do was break away what was covering it up.
And that's a great analogy that you're using for what Jared has helped you do, right? Because Jared's, once he interviewed you, you guys, kind of bonded on a friendship because you got kids similar ages. You guys started connecting, and he's now like, okay, I get who Clayton is. I see that inside you, but not everybody else sees that, right? And you're starting to pull that out of Clayton and really brand that as a marketing so that people in the marketplace know what you get when you hire Clayton as an agent. And he does work outside of Ocean Beach, but that is definitely one of your specialties because you love that. You love that community, but you love all of San Diego. You just have your home is in Ocean Beach.
Exactly. And that process was, like you said, he's able to translate who you are. So that people can guess, can feel your essence, Jason. But Jared is able to put words to it and translate it simply and palatably. So, for example, at the end of many hours of conversation, we landed on the 3 pillars of my own business, which are authenticity, community, and mastery. Knowing that has really clarified what it is, because there's so much of it was like even coaching of self-discovery. Now, even in the morning on my own time, when I look at my goals, I write down my own distinctive words from from intuition, creativity to confidence, strategy.
Huge.
So I came back with this whole realization of actually who I am. And when I told Jared, I'm like, hey, this is actually self-discovery. He said, yeah. He's like, actually, I give you branding, but I broker confidence. and the element of confidence that I've achieved by having a clear brand that I'm not dualistic in this is my real estate hat, this is my Clayton Connally hat. It's all one, and I can authentically just do my thing, and either you're part of it or you're going to find someone else that you're better suited for, and that's where it's a win for everybody.
Exactly it. Like we were just talking about on the radio, I've done home loans for 30 years, been a coach for 30 plus years. I've been kind of rebranding as the home loan coach, right? Because that's who I am. That's what I've always done, coach and do loans. And I want to make sure I'm doing a better job of that, and that's why I want to meet with Jared and talk about that. Before we end the podcast here, I want to make certain we get Kyle's wisdom. And this is what I wanted to share. I was trying to think of exactly how he did it, and so I had to find it on our messenger. So he actually does a little bit less text because he's using the workplace Facebook Messenger. And it's kind of a unique place, and you've probably done a lot of stuff with him on that with there. But he says, Jason, worry less about how much others do, and instead worry about how much you can do for others. And then he tagged that Kyle Whissel 2019.
It's quality text.
Quality text. And, that's what you have great leadership, great friends. And to have Kyle Whissel is literally one of my closest friends, my best friends, literally in the green room here. We're going to do lunch after the show. And this is my next closest best friend, Kyle Whissel. And that's, formed. And, this week he sent that to me because I was whining about something else. So if you're interested, finding more information out, you just Google Kyle Whissel. You can find all kinds of stuff about the Whissel Way podcast, all about Kyle Whissel. But you can always reach out to him on the text line, 619-663-7355. That's the podcast. Thank you so much, Jared, for coming in. I really do want to meet with you. Let's make sure we follow up on that. Clayton, it was an honor. We really got a chance. We haven't had a chance to talk much to interview you and Jared over the last hour. Thank you so much for coming on the radio show and the podcast. Stay tuned. We'll see you next week. Same place, same time.
Thank you, Jason.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.